have a triple layering card for you today that actually shows the dies cut out of the card and cut into the card. So I just wanted to show you that it works both ways. I will introduce the dies we'll be using. We have the Sending Hugs from the Mini Shadowed Sentiment Collection. I've got a tiny little flower that we've done with the Finishing Touches Petite Forget-Me-Nots. For the center of the card, we're going to be using the Jocelyn die. And this is the triple layering border called Matilda. And this is the one we're going to cut into the card and cut it so that it's on top of the card as well. Okay, pop those to the side. Now I've done a little bit ahead of time just to help speed it up along. So I've used the top die from the Matilda set and I've cut it onto both sides of the card, and it's a really pretty curved border. And then on this side I've actually layered the flax color behind it. So I'm going to show you, we'll do this side now. So I've cut this using the second die in the set, and I'm just going to use a little bit of spray glue on the back of this side. There we go. And set that down, and I'm going to just lean over a little bit, try and line up all the centers of the flowers and move them about just a hair bit. There we go. So they all look pretty straight there. So you can see I've got the white top piece with the flax as the second piece. Now on the sides I'm just going to do white, flax, and white. So what I've got is another piece of white backing here. And I think I will just use a little bit of glue. That should speed it up a little bit. Pop that around there. So rather than cutting the base piece, I can use an entire piece back here. It's your call, whichever way you'd like to do it. Both work totally fine. I'm going to pop that right over so it backs both of those pieces. There we go. So now I've got a really pretty base for my card, and I'll give you a quick measurement on that too, so you know what size we're doing. And that is 8 inches wide, or long, and 5 3/4 wide. I'm going to bring my base piece in, and I can seat that on there because we're just going to work upwards. And I'm using Custard and Flax as my two shades of yellow. I think they're really pretty together. And put that right in the center there. There we go. Get my corners straightened out a tiny bit. We'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and I've cut one of the Matildas out of the card, and I've used the custard on the top, the flax, and the white. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second one so you can see that. So cutting the top die out of the custard card here, a little bit of spray on the back. And we are going to line that up with the second layer, which I've done out of flax. Just going to try and get all the circles lined up. Just a little bit. I've got to lean in, I apologize here. Because it doesn't matter, as you can see, they haven't been cut at the same angle, but you can easily line them up. There we go. What I do recommend, though, is if you are using some spray glue, that you nip away any that might be from the back. So when you go to cut the outside piece, you don't want them sticking to your base plate. There we go. So I've got those. And now I'm going to bring in the outside cutting die from this, and we are going to just tape it into place over this, and I'm just going to make sure it's all nice and centered. That's looking pretty good. Oh wait, a little bit off there. Okay, and I want to keep that in line really well, so I'm going to add one more there. Pop that onto our cutting plate. Okay. And we'll just very carefully poke that out away from our tape. There we go. Peel this off. And we can even keep these for later if we like. There we go. Pop that back on. So now I've cut, just using that same outside piece, I've cut the backing for it out of white. So we'll add that on. if I've missed a couple spots here, so I'm adding a little bit of glue here just to make sure it sticks nice and well. And line that up along the edge. And I like to lay it down and just sort of hold it in my hand and move it into place. Okay, so now we've got another border there. I'm going to add a bit of mounting foam to the back of this. And I'm probably going to have to cut that way and that way. Okay, so I can bring this back in. And I'm going to add one on either side, on the inside of the ones that I've cut into the card. So just line it up a bit. There we go. And this one here, line that up a bit. And if you're off a little bit on your alignment, that mounting foam will be easy to peel it back up and do it again. If you really want, you can set it down on a grid and line it up straight. So I'm probably not perfectly straight, but eyeball straight. So the next thing I've done is I've cut the Jocelyn. Now I've used the inside decorative die for this with the outer decorative cutting edge to give me this piece in white. Okay, I want to back the back of this with the flax card, so I've just used the inside cutting edge because all I want to do is back that center section here. So I'm going to give it a bit of a spray and pop this down. In fact, I missed just the top where my thumb was, and that will fit right over that. Give us a nice little color there. Press that down. And then I went back in with the two outer cutting dies and cut the custard card edge. Okay, so I'll give that a little bit of a spray. See if I've got that really well. A little bit up under my finger here. That should do the trick. There we go. And that will just seat right over the edge. Pop that down and just line that up a little bit. So you'll end up having a very, very similar look to the layering dies, but this is just a regular die. But I love the way it ties in together. I think it's so pretty. Bit of mounting foam on the back. We're going to pop that right in the middle, and it just works so well with that shape. The Matilda dies just kind of hug around it. I love that. So I'm using the Sending Hugs, and I'm just going to pop a bit of Cosmic on the back and seat that right there. And I've got a tiny little black shadow on that, which I think really helps make it stand out. It's not overwhelming, it's just enough though. Put that down there, give that a second to set up. And then I've got a couple little flowers that I've made with the Petite Forget-Me-Nots. That was a mouthful. And I want to just raise them up, give them a little bit of dimension here. And this is the tiny little flowers that are in the set. You can see them. They're more like centers, but I think they're really cute if you just need a tiny little accent. Put some glue on the back of that one. I'll pop that right down next to my hugs. And then grab this little guy, which is even smaller. A little bit of glue on the back of that one. And I'm going to give that a second to set up and just bring the edges up on the top flower there to give it a little bit of dimension too. Let's make sure it's glued really well. There we go. And there we go. And a couple of pearls. You can put some pearls in the center of the flowers, on the top and on the bottom, and it really brings the card to life. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget our YouTube channel has so many more for you.